Welcome to the Maria Liberati Show, where food meets art, travel, and life. So what does food mean to you? Well, join me this week as my special guest is Guillame Ginter, who is one of the participating chefs in the Stuffed Cabbage competition. Have you ever heard of this competition? It's an international competition in French known as choux farci, and in the French language, an endearing expression is mon petit chou, my little cabbage. So cabbage is a very important ingredient in French cooking. And this is the World Championship of Stuffed Cabbage, and Guillame is one of the chefs who we are having on today that is competing, and the international competition will be held, I believe it's going to be November 18th, and there are chefs from all over the world that are participating in this competition. It's open to all professional artisan butchers and cooks. And, there's really very, very interesting recipes. And it's not only the taste, but it's also the presentation of the stuffed cabbage. So they also have to take a photo of the whole stuffed cabbage and the stuffed cabbage cut in half. So it has to make a wonderful presentation and be aesthetically pleasing. So stay tuned for that interview, and we're going to find out more. Also, but Guillame will tell you, so the must-use ingredients in this competition is, of course, cabbage and pork meat. So that's lean pork belly and or veal at a minimum of 1%. A vegetable or seafood-based stuffing is accepted if it contains at least 1% minimum of pork and or veal. Well, it couldn't really be for a vegetarian then, but anyway, I guess that allows you to increase the vegetables and or the seafood and just use 1% of pork or veal. And you are not allowed to use egg white powder, agar, taste enhancers, artificial dyes, industrial spice mix, industrial juices, pre-processed juices, and truffles. So those are some of the rules of this interesting competition. And my second guest is Monica Mohindra, who is from the Veterans Project at the Library of Congress. You know, Veterans Day just came and went, and this project honors the veterans by telling their story. And we're going to find out how you or anyone can get involved in helping to keep the legacy of the veterans alive and get involved as a volunteer. So stay tuned for those interviews. And also, I just want to remind everyone that the holiday guides, I have been doing those. We're on the 8th holiday guide, and I'll continue doing those until we get closer to Christmas. I've been researching interesting and unique and really nice gifts for people to give for the holidays, because, it's always nice to have that unique gift instead of giving a tie or a shirt or a scarf or something that somebody may be expecting. You can give a gift that will be well remembered, something unique, and something that will really stick out in someone's memory. And I just wanted to give a shout out to some of the products that I found in my research and reviewing that I thought would make great gifts for the holidays, or great products for your holiday table as well. We're always looking for different kinds of foods or things that make a great addition to our holiday table. So I have been taking the time to research and try out products, and you will find reviews of these products at themarialiberattishow.com. each guide has anywhere from 2 to 5 or 6 or even 7 different products that I did review. And the products that I did review are the products that I really liked and I thought would make great gifts or great addition to your holiday table. So check out the guides. And here are some products. I'm going to give a shout out to some products now, and then when the show ends, I'll give a shout out to some other products. So in the holiday guide number 6, you will find my review for fervorpet.com. Fervor Pet is a bone broth that you can, it's actually a topper for your dog's food, and my sweetie bear just loves it. And they also have a formula that helps mobility, and it's good for their joints. So fervorpet.com, Bell Essence Skincare. Happy Soul is an LED mask that you can use to help keep your skin in shape. Earth Foam Organic Pillow, HBHP Tremendous Decoration, and Olten, that's Oultn gift set. It's a espresso gift set. It's really, really interesting. Check out my review on the MariaLiberatiShow.com. That's guide number 6, and you can read all about that. And then we have Beverly Hills MD Skincare, Blueluli.com, which has some great products with artwork on it. American Skillet Company, well, they have skillets that are shaped like different states of the United States. They even have one that is shaped like the United States. And Vanilla Goddess, the holidays are a time when we're all looking for vanilla extract, and I have lots of friends and family that are always running out of vanilla and calling me up and asking me if I have any extra vanilla they can have in a pinch, because they're making chocolate chip cookies or some other baked good. So who is it that doesn't want vanilla? And if you check out Vanilla Goddess, you'll find some great vanilla extracts. And more products will be coming up. I'll be mentioning more products at the end of the show. But as mentioned, check out the MariaLiberatiShow.com. Check out the guides, and you'll find right now we're up to guide number 8, and I will be releasing them throughout the months of November and December. Sizzle in the kitchen with me and my Gourmand World Award-winning book series, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking. Unleash your inner chef and transform your meals into Italian masterpieces. Get your copy today of The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, Holidays and Special Occasions, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking Da Vinci Style, and The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, and taste the passion of Italy. You can get your copies on Amazon.com, at MariaLiberati.com, at ArtOfLivingPrimaMedia.com, on Kindle, and anywhere books are sold. So my special guest today, well, I am really excited. I have Guillame Ginter. Great.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, and he is a French chef. He's joining us from, you're in New York City today, right?
Yep.
Yes, and so you won this competition for the United States, right? It's actually the Chou Farci competition, which, let me translate for those that don't understand French. It's the Stuffed Cabbage Championships, correct?
Absolutely.
So, tell us, was not aware, but that stuffed cabbage was an important kind of a traditional recipe in the French cuisine. Is that so?
I'm used to have stuffed cabbage since I was a kid. It's like a grandmother dish. Going with this stuffing comes from a leftover. Not when you do the competition like we do, yes. But the old traditional
tradition.
old tradition dish is to use the leftover from the Sunday and then mix with eggs, a little bread, cream, some herbs, whatever you have in the garden, and then cabbage. You know, you always have this dark green leaves that's not super appealing, and then but when you stuff it, it becomes super great. So yeah, the stuffed cabbage is a tradition dish who goes for centuries. Yeah, I would say as many of old school tradition dishes, French dishes, I mean, like pâté en croûte or terrines, stuff like that, are coming back to the front of the scene, you know what I mean? So as the stuffed cabbage becoming again popular, and that's great because it's exactly what I like to do.
Yes. So the recipe that you did, can you tell us what type of stuffed cabbage that you did? I know you competed at the Institute for Culinary Education in New York City in front of a whole jury of judges, culinary judges. What type of recipe did you do? And I understand it has to weigh so many pounds, the cabbage.
Yes, to be in pound, I'm not sure. I think it's 3 pound maximum or 3.5 pound maximum. So it's kind of the size of a real cabbage when you see a cabbage. And so the stuffing was mandatory to use pork, but pork is kind of the base, the basic meat that you use for stuffing or pâté, because it's rich, flavorful, and the fat it's really good when you cook it. So you have to use that, and then I use duck, foie gras, obviously, also mushrooms, carrots, a lot of herbs and spices. So yeah, to make it really flavorful.
Right. And are you going to do the same recipe when you compete? So I understand from what I have here, so the international competition is in Limoges, France, right? In November.
Yeah,
and
correct.
do you have to come up with another recipe, or are you going to do the same?
About the recipe, I'm pretty confident of the recipe I did, but I think I have to be more competitive with at the final. I have to work on the aesthetic and
the presentation, like the presentation
wise.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So
because there is points for every kind of like the taste, the the cuts, and also the aesthetic. So it's important to get these points to make a good result.
Yes. And what happens? So all the chefs compete at one time, you all cook at one time at the same time, and then when you're done, all the judges. Do you know how many chefs will be competing?
Yeah, we are only 5 at the final. Five. There is so me from America. There is one competitor from Japan. One from Asia, like the biggest part. So one from France, and the last one from Europe.
From
So
Europe.
there is for France, so a French guy for sure, and then a European, American, Asian, and Japan.
And these are all people that won competitions in their own country, I guess.
Absolutely,
That they're bringing to Limoges, France.
Yeah, and then we are competing almost at the same time. We are delayed from 15 or 20 minutes. The first to start, between the first that start and the last, there is like 1 hour and a half or something like that. For the judges to have every 15 minutes a new cabbage to taste.
Yes. So do you use a sauce, a special sauce for the cabbage? What do you cook the cabbage in, or do you just bake it? Do you cook it in sauce?
I bake it. I cook it steamer.
In a steamer.
But I have a sauce that I have to do there. So I have a sauce, and then I have a little condiments with
Uh-huh.
spices, and uh, and um, and this is like my secret ingredients that I
I
want to
see.
bring back there.
Yes.
It could make a little difference.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So
So,
that might be what makes a difference. Yes, because I remember that used to be like we used to do stuffed cabbage. Our family's Italian, and they used to cook it in a tomato, some type of a tomato sauce.
yeah,
So, or stuffed cabbage roll, like just the leaves. You stuff each of the leaves, but did the same thing with like leftovers, using that,
yeah, yeah.
as a home, something for the home, to cook at home.
Mhm.
So I guess it's a recipe there. It's a
Uh,
traditional recipe as well. So do you serve something like that at what is your restaurant? Is it Bacchus? Is that the name of the restaurant in New York
yeah,
City?
Bacchus is in Brooklyn on Atlantic Avenue,
Uh-huh.
409 Atlantic Avenue.
Yes.
It's a French bistro, really beautiful, with the two beautiful garden. Can
Uh-huh.
We can have 120 people.
Uh-huh.
And yes, I put the stuffed cabbage on the menu. It's really popular. We advised it as the awarded stuffed cabbage in America.
Uh-huh.
And, people are liking it.
Uh-huh. Oh, I'm sure because it's a home, it's like a real dish. It's something that's real. It's a home
Yeah.
meal from tradition. So is it, I would assume it sounds like it's a dish that is coming more from the north of France. Is that correct? Yes.
It comes from a little bit. Every region of France has its own
Right, traditions.
way to do it. So when
Ah,
you go to the south of France, they do the stuffed cabbage, the Provençal way, with,
right.
as you said, tomato sauce and then more
Yes.
Provençal herbs.
Yes.
When you go to my region, which is Alsace,
Uh-huh.
where the cabbage there is like something because we have the
Yeah.
choucroute.
Yes.
So we have a different way to do it. But
Ah.
yeah, me, I know that where I used to have it when I was young. It's when you do a pulopo.
Uh-huh.
It's also a dish, a really traditional dish. And then we had also a small stuffed cabbage in the same plates that we have the pulopo.
Right, right.
So
Yes.
yeah, stuffed cabbage is like every region has his own way to do it. I
Yes,
would say.
yes, yes. And I know cabbage is an important thing because I know from my French classes, I studied French. Mon petit chou is like a little expression, right? Because just like people call, well, in Italian, they call babies little potatoes. And I know in France, they use my little cabbage as an expression also. So because
Absolutely.
cabbage is such a it's a well thought of, it's a traditional dish there in France. So that's wonderful. So when is the competition now? You're going to Limoges?
It's in a month. It's the 18th of November.
The 18th of November. Oh my goodness. So do you have to go there beforehand to do any promotional? Are they doing anything like on television in France yet, or is it open to
Uh,
the public, the
yeah,
competition?
it's open to the public. It's gonna go on TV. There is like many of media who's gonna be there. Yes, it's open to the public.
So it is open to the public.
Yeah,
And it's going to be held, oh, where is it going to be held in Limoges? I was trying to find
it's
out.
on the Bernardo flagship place.
Ah,
So
I
the
see.
factory of Bernardo.
The Factory Bernardo. Yes. So
Yeah,
if anybody's going to be in Limoges at that time, they can find out. And I guess they can go online and look up the Championnat de Chou Farci, the
yeah.
Stuffed Cabbage Championship. And let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else. So All right. Well, I guess I would wish you much success for your, and let us know. I already told the PR person to please let us know who wins the competition, and
Yeah,
maybe
of course, of
you
course.
can come back and tell us
Yeah,
your secret ingredient.
Maria, where is the of this podcast? Where are we gonna hear it?
Oh, the podcast is, you can hear it internationally. It's all over anywhere podcasts are heard. You're able to hear podcasts. And of course, it's on YouTube as a podcast, but this video will be on YouTube also for anyone listening, if you want to see the video of the podcast, you can go to YouTube, the Maria Liberati Show channel, and you'll see it. But it's heard anywhere podcasts are heard: Spotify, iTunes,
All
YouTube,
right.
anywhere, Odyssey. Yes, anywhere podcasts are heard. Great. Well, much success for your for the competition, and we look forward to hearing from you in the near future about the competition. I guess one of the things I wanted to ask you. So, how did you get into being a chef? How did you start? How did you get into
Well, first of all, I love to eat. That's something you have to have if
Uh-huh.
you want to do this job. But
Yes.
yeah, I start to cook when I was young, when my parents, my mom and grandmother was cooking around me, and then I was always in the kitchen with them and trying
Uh-huh.
and slowly I wanted to know how to cook, and then I learned from them, and then I found out that I like it very much, and then let's try to dig on this career. And
Yes.
then I went to school, and then I still loved it, and I went to great restaurants.
Uh-huh.
So all my career I used to do in Michelin star restaurants in all around Paris, in New York. I worked for Daniel Boulou for many years,
Uh-huh.
and now I'm doing my cuisine, so it's
There
great.
you go. How did you get involved in the Stuffed Cabbage Championship? Did somebody come to find you, or did you
But
hear around?
I'm part of I'm member of the different associations. So I used to do the pâté en croûte competition, who's in New York every year. I won twice also, the first place. And then I like competition. I did many competition when I was in France. I do it here.
Mhm.
So when there is a competition, I like the dish that we have to do. I'm in.
You enter. Great. All right. Well, much success with the competition, and hopefully we will hear good things about the competition and you'll win.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You are welcome to come to the restaurant to have a try.
Oh, thank you. I will definitely make sure I do that. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Maria.
Embark on a culinary journey with me and my Gourmand World award-winning book series, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking. Discover the secrets to authentic Italian dishes that will wow your family and friends. Bring the essence of Italy to your table. Grab your copy of The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, Holidays and Special Occasions, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking Da Vinci Style, and The Basic Art of Italian Cooking at Amazon.com and anywhere books are sold, along with marialiberati.com and artoflivingprimamedia.com.
My special guest today is Monica Mohindra, and she is the director of the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress. So we're going to find out all about this really interesting project and even how you can get involved as well. Monica, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here with you today. Thank you.
So can you, I guess, tell us how this project got started?
Oh, yes. Well, the project got started like so many good ideas get started It was a member of Congress really sitting down with the loved ones in his life
Uh-huh.
at a picnic, as we all do for these holidays, where we can be outside. And he was hearing from, like you, he was hearing from his uncles and his father also, who served, about their service. And he was hearing at this picnic a sort of a retrospective, something he hadn't experienced with them before. And they were discussing items that, as he looked at his own sons, he realized they were too young to really be taking it in. So if you can cast your mind back, 20 some years ago, when we all had
Yes.
that ubiquitous camcorder in our closet, he asked someone to go get the camcorder and record this story so that when his sons were older, they'd
Uh-huh.
be able to understand this important moment. And that
Yes.
turned into this larger idea of making sure that all of us had that. He worked with his colleagues in Congress to make sure that that would be something that would be preserved, an experience that happened, and then a product in the archive at the Library of Congress for all of us, for the benefit of all of us.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, how are the stories, are they recorded on, like you said, it was camcorder footage, or are they recorded on video, on audio, or written? Is it a combination of everything?
It is, a lot of people at that time had a similar idea, which was, how do we get these stories of these veterans from World War I through the more recent conflicts? And they weren't all coming at the time. There was a lot of focus on World War II, and they weren't all coming to the Library of Congress. But this was specific to
Uh-huh.
get the nation involved and have these stories come to the Library of Congress. So how could that be the most accessible for the most number of people? So the idea was to use whatever consumer grade recordables that we have available to us. So at the time, it was things like those. Do you remember those recorders, with the
Yes.
that came up and the tape that went in? So
Yes.
these recording devices like that, on to now, it started
Uh-huh.
as what was intended to be a temporary effort, maybe 5 years, to capture these stories before they were lost. Here we
Uh-huh.
are 24 years later.
Yes.
Now we all have that recording device in our pockets.
Uh-huh.
And so you can now take those audio video recordings that way, but we also accept documentation of the first person narrative through things like original collections of photographs, letters, audio correspondence from Vietnam,
Uh-huh.
where they did the reel to reel.
Yes, yes. Oh, that's really, really interesting. Very, very interesting project. So, how can people get involved? Like, if somebody wants to contribute their, family stories, how can they do this?
The really wonderful thing about how the legislation was written for the Library of Congress Veterans History Project is it really was intended to get everyone involved. We're recruiting, we're seeking the stories of U.S. veterans who served, those from World War I through the more recent conflicts. But the idea was to get that conversation going with everyone.
Yes.
So anyone 15 and above can work with the veteran in their life, as you say, in their family, but in their communities. And
Uh-huh.
that could
Oh,
be
that's
faith
wonderful.
communities. It could be however it is you rub up against people in your life. Maybe it's your postal delivery carrier.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's the nurse in your family's local hospital. There's lots of different ways that we're all interacting with veterans all the time. And this is a
Uh-huh.
great opportunity to sit down with them with the seriousness of purpose and listen, like you do so well. Listen to
Yes.
what they have to say.
Yes, it's wonderful because you don't want to lose those stories. As I told you before we went on the air, I had a great uncle. He was from Italy and he got his American citizenship by fighting for us in World War One. And I just can remember, I was really little, but I can remember some of the stories he used to tell. And he used to sing us songs that they used to sing sometimes. And, so we do, as I told you, I have some badges or some kinds of medals and things that we're trying to figure out. But, those stories, we don't want to lose those. So I'll definitely have to try to contribute, but that's, it's definitely something that you don't want to lose. And whether it's like you said in your family or just a neighbor or someone that you might, be in contact with. So how can people access the stories? Like if you want to read some of the stories, because they're so interesting. I mean, I'm sure the stories I can remember my great uncle used to tell. I mean, it's more interesting than something you might read in a book or something. Very interesting stories.
We're so fortunate because the project did start at a time when these recording devices were becoming more and more prolific throughout our lives. So
Uh-huh.
the really great thing about the Library of Congress Veterans History Project website, which is where I would suggest to answer your
Okay.
question, people
Uh-huh.
go, it's such a wonderful opportunity to encounter and engage with history directly. And that's what the project really offers, is whether you're sitting down with a veteran in your life and you're creating this history together and being
Uh-huh.
part of this national historic effort, or
Right.
whether you're sitting down, and hopefully you'll do both, with the
Right.
website. What you'll find there are the records of over 120,000 individual stories of veterans' first person experience. And when I say that, what I mean is you find like almost like a catalog record in a public library of that individual's experience. And it's something like over 70% of those individual veteran stories of 120,000 and growing contain on the website some digitized element of their collection. So you can hear like something like 10,000 hours
Uh-huh.
of video of individuals speaking directly to you, or 9,000 hours of audio,
Uh-huh.
thousands and thousands of photographs where viewers are looking in an unmediated way, listening in an unmediated way directly to the raw information from the veterans who were there. What she experienced, your Aunt Millie the Whack, or your neighbor's Aunt Millie the Whack, when she was preparing to fly, what he thought about when he was going into the first time going into maybe a medical unit as a nurse. Taking these perspectives and hearing directly from them is a really big part of what we're able to offer on the website at the Library of Congress. And that's just, libraryofcongress.gov, so loc.gov/vets, VETS, to get right to the veterans.
And I know we were talking about, because the holidays are coming up, and something about giving a gift of something involved with the veterans. How can people get involved, and what type of something, a great gift would be, I could think of a gift as just interviewing, giving someone that, interview them and contribute their story to the project. But what other ways can volunteers get involved? Is there any other ways, or, a gift, something they can do as a gift also?
Thank you for that entree point, Maria. It's like the idea that we sit down with each other when life is so busy and time is so sucked up by all the screens around us where we're consuming. We really think of the Veterans History Project as an opportunity, even if you're sitting down and listening to the experience of some other veteran. Do it with the veteran in your life and pull family together. Talk with the veteran. Let's give an example. Let's say I want to interview my cousin who served in Iraq or Afghanistan, and the family doesn't really talk about it because maybe that's a little bit uncomfortable. You're not usually thinking about that during the holidays.
Right.
We could take the first upcoming holiday, maybe it's Thanksgiving, and you posit the idea and you say, "Here, I want to show you some things about the Veterans History Project. And while we're all together, let me hear a little bit about where you were and what your kind of service was." Maybe they actually served in Nevada,
Mhm.
looking at, drone equipment. You can find that on the website, and then everyone can sit together and share that gift of time to
Uh-huh.
discover a little bit more about what that person's experience might have been like. It's also a great way to prove that you're really interested in this, not for fish tales, not for
Right.
war stories. You're not looking
Right.
for salacious entertainment.
Right.
We're trying to share with them this notion that they were witness to history and that they connect you to our shared and collective history. So the gift is really the gift of time and the gift of listening and the gift of the seriousness of purpose of recognizing that together we are all witness to and creating history that will inform not only today, but tomorrow as well.
Exactly. So how many stories do they have? Did I hear 120,000 about so far? Wow.
Yeah, 120,000, which is a number that we can all be proud of because that represents voluntary, heartfelt labor, from Alaska to Florida, from Maine to Guam. So it includes the territories, which is really fantastic. And it's people just like you and your listeners and viewers just sitting down and taking that on. So that's a number we can all be proud of. Unfortunately, it's against the backdrop of 18 million living veterans. So
Yes.
we do have an opportunity before us to make sure that we really are being fully inclusive to the
Yes.
totality of experience of individual veterans' stories.
Exactly. So, we're almost out of time, but tell us again, how can people get involved? The website, rather, the website they need to go to. And I will put this on because we have a blog. It's the MariaLiberattiShow.com. So we'll put this URL on there, but just tell people again where they can go to.
It is the Library of Congress website for the Veterans History Project. So it's really easy. It's just LOC for Library of Congress .gov, G-O-V for government, /vets, VETS.
Okay, that's great. Wonderful. Hopefully you'll get another 120,000 stories, I hope, after people hear this. And from my listeners, please go out and definitely contribute to this wonderful project. And it's a fun way to get involved too, because you get to interview someone, be it family, friend, and hear about a part of history also that they were a part of. Thank you so much, Monica, for being with us, and much success with the project. And maybe in the future as it grows, we'll definitely be interested in having you on again. You can let
I'd
us know
love to
how
come
it's going.
back. Thanks for
Yes,
the time.
definitely. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Maria Liberati Show, and thanks to my producer, Britton Roselle, and this week's special guests. You can find me at marialiberati.com. The website for the podcast is themarialiberattishow.com. You can find me on Instagram at Maria Liberati, on Twitter or X at Maria Liberati, on Facebook at Chef Maria Liberati, on Pinterest at Maria Liberati, on Vimeo. You can find lots of videos of my some of my cooking shows on TV and streaming shows. So on Vimeo, if you go to Maria Liberati, on YouTube, we have a YouTube channel for the podcast, so you can find video of some of the podcasts on YouTube if you go to the Maria Liberati Show. And also you can find my Gourmand World Award-winning book series, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, at artoflivingprimamedia.com, on Amazon, on Kindle, Barnes & Noble, really anywhere books are sold. And if you have a problem finding them, just send us an email at info@marialiberati.com. And if you happen to be in the Newtown area this weekend, on November 16th, I will be doing my last tour of Italy, Taste of Italy cooking class. We'll be concentrating on Venice this Saturday. It's a cooking class. It's from 11 to 12:30, and you can register. Registration is limited. You can register for the class by calling the Continuing Education Department at the Bucks County Community College. And I just want to give a shout out to some of those products as mentioned in our holiday guide. And I am continuing to review and to research products, interesting and unique products for the holidays that make a great addition to your holiday table or as a great gift. And I just want to give a shout out to some of the other products. So Blue Toby, and that's bluetoby.com, makes these wonderful, sustainable, and orthopedically supportive beds for your dog. and my sweetie bear and my dogs just love the bed. And they also make a little, it's called a nap noodle, and a blanket to go with it. And you can find them at bluetoby.com. And if you put in the code Maria, that's capital Maria, you'll get a special discount if you order the beds at bluetoby.com. Your dog will definitely love it. And also in our 8th holiday guide, we have Gevi. We have Gevi, this 2-in-1 coffee maker. It actually grinds the coffee and gets it in your coffee maker and puts out this wonderful brew for breakfast or any time. So it's Gevi, Gevi, and that's also my holiday guide. Now, if you're looking for something for the kids, but I actually love this set, it's Clixo, and it's a really neat kit that you can actually do with your kids. You can put together the one kit that I love. They have many, so they're very interesting kits, but Clixo, this one is a jewelry making kit, which is really interesting, but there are many other kits that look like they're interesting gifts also. So this makes a great gift for kids. And there's also the French tart baking kit that is from the Cooking Gift Company, and you can look that up on my gift guide. It's a great kit for somebody that likes to bake. Everything is included in the kit. And then there are the High Camp flasks, which are great flasks for wine or any kind of a beverage that you want to put in it. They're so high-end looking, beautiful flasks. So check out High Camp flasks. And until next time, peace, love, and pasta.